Welcome to 13 Minutes of News. In 13 minutes or less. Okay, guys. I want to give a major shout out to Paraworks. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of it popping up here. We've got a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. We're working on it daily. And you also might see things popped up in your market already. So I do advise to take a look into the Para app if you still have it on your phone. If you don't, you can re-download it, okay? And if you want to make sure you're downloading the right thing, go to ridesharerodeo.com, and you can click the banner for Para at the top, and that should take you right to the re-download. So you guys, get it back on your phone. If you ever liked Para for the TT on DoorDash, make sure you're getting it back on the phone, because that's just a piece of the pie in the big picture. So don't miss it. Check it out. If you have any questions, email me at steve@ridesharerodeo.com, or feel free to email me at steve@withpara.com. That said, I want to get into a few things today. So first of all, we did not talk about this last week, but I wanted to make sure that I at least clarified, and we will get into this in the upcoming weeks, the midterms. I'm not gonna take a position here. I'm not gonna say one side or the other or what. But as it relates to the gig economy, I'm gonna tell you guys something. And this is just because I shoot it honest from the hip. It is what it is. The midterms may have appeared to have helped in some ways, but in the big picture, the midterms were a horrible showing, a horrible turnout. And as far as gig economy work, it is very much still threatened under the Biden rule change. We will be getting into this as we progress. Let me put it this way, that Washington State, Massachusetts, they will all still be going the directions that they were intended to go in January. So we're now just about a month out from some major changes, you guys. And don't let it blow you away. I suggest to keep watching 13 minutes and to keep watching other pieces we do on this stuff. I will try and put a couple out in December. See if I can't get even a couple other people to join Kim Cavan and I maybe, or whoever, to talk through now where it is, because I don't want everybody shocked when some things happen, and some things are going to happen. One of the least being that most likely after the new year, believe it or not, there will most likely be a decrease in pay on the platforms, because subsidizing other states and other pay models that are being force-fed down these companies' throats are going to affect those of us not in the states where these are happening. And so, again, it becomes a subsidy issue. And we will be subsidizing workers in other states to make sure that they make a floor payment. You know how I feel about this. I feel like if it's not working for you, pivot. If you have pivoted, and you just can't find an app working in your area, well, then take a break and find a different area to work in that makes you some money. But don't drop a grenade in the system to wreck it for everybody, because a lot of people make money doing this. That said, 85% plus of the gig economy works less than 16 hours a week. Okay? And a lot of that, about, I think it's 60% of that percentage works less than 7 hours a week. Now, immediately, those people have no say in anything, because they already have a W-2. This is extra income for them. And so their vote is already cast. They don't want unions, even if they don't understand it, they don't want it. Because if they had a union, they wouldn't be able to keep both jobs. So, and the unions aren't going to take on 7 to 16 hour people. So that kind of pay guarantee for the part-timers, that's not going to be a reality, you guys. Let's just start swallowing these pills as they come, because this is reality. New York City is implementing before the end of the year a change to rideshare pay. Now, we saw this before. I know I've talked to some people who are excited. Like, okay, good. They need to do this. Well, okay. We saw them do this exactly before. We saw them say that minimum wage for rideshare, plus expenses, plus this, that, and the other, it came out to around $26 and something. Now it's going to be 27 and something. But what did we learn when that happened? We learned that you had to pick time blocks. You had to, if you were a veteran worker and in New York City you did rideshare and you worked shifts that made you $60+ an hour, that was gone because that $26 floor payment also became the ceiling payment the exact same day. It made it so that people making $10 an hour now made 26, but people making $40, $50, $60 an hour now made 26. So what happened to those people that were making good money and knew how to work these apps? They quit. They quit. And the level of service and car care and just everything went in the toilet. And now we're going to see it happen again. Now, there are some reasons I'm a little happy for this. I will say this. So you'll get the minimum payment, and that is I think it's what was it for the per minute? It's like 8% more per minute that you'll make as a rideshare driver, and it's like 24% more that you'll make on each ride. Now, the customers are going to be paying more, so even if you don't get a ton of tips to begin with, you will see way less tips. You won't have much of an opportunity to make above and beyond that. You will be, just think of that new number, $27 an hour, as your pay. That's your pay, $27 an hour. I mean, that's how it worked before. But here's the one thing that I will say on the brighter side, doesn't really relate to rideshare, but it's nice to just hear that it happened, is that the TLC in New York, the Taxi and Limousine Commission, also included green and yellow cab into this change. So green and yellow cab will be making 24% more per trip. And that is the first raise by the TLC for the New York City taxis since 2012. So in 10 years, the taxis have not seen a dime of a raise, and now they're going to see 24% more. And for that, I give some kudos, okay? I like the TLC coming after them, and they're even going after them where they've combined with Uber. So if Uber is now dispatching cabs, Uber will take a hit too, and the cabbies should still see more. It still should be the same amount. So for that reason, I'm okay. Especially because I know that we've talked about this, but I have a different sympathy level for taxi drivers in New York City because of the medallion story. Now, I know that doesn't apply to the green cabs. That's only the yellow city cabs. However, it's a very hard industry and it's a very hard job in New York City to be a cab driver. So it's almost its own story. And for that reason, I will give it, we'll say that that's okay. New York City has also decided that delivery drivers are to earn $24 an hour minimum wage. Now, guys, this is what is happening up in Seattle as well. They said they were only going to do it for the rideshare, and then they brought in the food delivery. I have not seen anything for grocery delivery. I have not seen anything related to Instacart or Shipt or anything like that. However, all of the delivery apps, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, any other side ones that might exist, are now going to have to pay $24 an hour. So is this a good thing? No, I think it's a horrible thing because this now makes it so that we know for a fact we're subsidizing New York City now. No matter where you live in the country, you're subsidizing New York City pay model. You're going to be subsidizing Massachusetts because that's going to be one of the craziest states in the new year. Could be subsidizing part of Minnesota as well as Pennsylvania in the new year. From day one. We will be subsidizing Washington State, and all of us and all of the other states are going to take a blow on this. And if you think you're not, just hang tight because yes, you are. Yes, we all are, especially the delivery drivers, because DoorDash is not just going to take a blow like this. This is not California AB5/Prop 22. This is not the companies deciding this to sidestep a law. This is just a new minimum wage, and we're going to see other states doing different things with unions and this and that. And to counteract that money, if you think that they're just going to ask the investors at DoorDash for more, I think you just answered your own question, because the investors at DoorDash and these apps are not putting in any more money. They do see hope and glimmer maybe of a profit in the next few years. However, they're not putting in any more money. So that money now has to come from, where do you think? The customers, hopefully, right? And it will come from the customers. And sadly, the customers are going to see huge rate increases. That 24%, I've read as high as 35% increases on the food platforms alone. So are people still going to order as much food if they're paying 35% more than they already were to order food on DoorDash, Uber Eats? Maybe. However, me personally, I already think that those platforms charge a ton. And I also think I know they double dip. And I've explained this, so I'm going to explain it to you guys today. By the double dipping, I mean, if you're the customer ordering food, you see delivery fee, platform fee, here's your total, subtotal. You see everything, and you can see how much you're spending. But do you know that on top of charging the customers for the service, do you know that they charge the restaurants 8 to 15%? And the reason that you don't see that is because DoorDash's contract specifically says, for example, that a restaurant that's working with DoorDash can either list it as a service fee, or they can change their prices to equal out their portion of a second balance of service fees. It's weird, but so what do? I think most of us already know. They up the prices on the menu to people ordering at home. So if you go to a restaurant a lot and you're used to paying this for this food, you might pay 10, 15% more. The reason is that they're charging the restaurants as well. We got a lot more to talk about with this. So we will be talking about that this week. Until we do get to it, that's 13 minutes of news in 13 minutes or less.